now straight into the Rose Bowl against the number one seed. When you get a win like that and immediately have to flip the page, what's that mental shift like for you?
Yeah, first off, appreciate you guys having me, man. Been wanting to get on here for a minute.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, bro, like it's kind of the Alabama way. You know what I mean? Like y'all boys know, every week's just a new week, and especially with these, expanded playoffs, right? Like you just got to keep going. The biggest thing for us is with the SEC schedule that we got to play every team top of the country almost, every week, right? Like it's just like an NFL schedule. So,
Yeah.
Honestly, it's nothing new to us, right? We go down there, get a big time, emotional win. Now we just got to flip the script and, go do it again.
Yeah, that's what's up, bro. So obviously y'all going to the Rose Bowl, playing against Indiana. It's a special bowl game for sure. Got a lot of history into it. It's the 100-year anniversary of Alabama's first national title, which was also a Rose Bowl win. And you're also playing for the program's 1,000th all-time win. How aware are you of that history, and how do you carry it without letting it become pressure?
Dang, I didn't know that. I
know it's a lot of history thrown at you, man.
I ain't know that either.
I ain't know that either.
Hey, but it's really cool though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you think about like all the years going back, even to when y'all were there, right? Like y'all built this, and it's the reason why I came here. It's the reason why I stayed. And the biggest thing is about building, your brand, as Saban says all the time, and creating a legacy. And what other, what would you rather be doing than to, make your mark on the 100th Rose Bowl national championship win, and then 1,000th win for Alabama football. Like it's what you came here for. It's what you stayed. It's what you dream of as a kid. So I'm super excited.
That's big time, bro.
So, with me and you being teammates, man, I feel like just watching all the success you have and everything you had to endure and go through, bro. Like a lot of people don't really know the real Ty. Like, man, I remember it. And, just even taking it back to 2023, which was my last college game, we was at the Rose Bowl playing against Michigan. And we lost. So, I mean, what is like with you being there, being in that atmosphere, not playing in that game, but just seeing the emotions, knowing what's at stake, knowing it's a reality, and then just fast forward, bro, 2 years later, like you leading this team back. Like it's crazy how God works, and it's crazy like the type of positions that you in. Like I know you probably didn't think about that, and I definitely wouldn't have been thinking about that. So what would you think, like, what is your approach going into that game, and how are you feeling since you've been in that moment before?
Yeah, I know, Terry. I've grown up a little bit since dancing at 12:25.
Hey, Pat, that boy Ty Darty, that boy's been them Darty. I used to say, yeah, you playing.
I still get down a little bit.
You said them Darties?
At them Darties.
I remember them Darties, cuz.
Hey, Pat,
not the Darties.
Scrimmage.
In the springtime.
Hey, fresh off the scrimmage, Ty done went in there with second team, cooked up. You feeling good.
Yeah.
You feeling good. So, yeah.
No, it's I mean, it was a long journey, as you know, bro. Like, I remember going that game, right? Like, everybody was mad that we got in anyway because everybody wanted Florida State in, playing a Big Ten team, Michigan, who was the national champion, and we had a lot of opportunities to win. And honestly, like looking back at that game and seeing the stuff that we did to lose the game when we really should have won, and it went to overtime on the last play of the game. It's almost set up the exact same way this year. Playing the Big Ten national or the Big Ten conference champion. Playing the number one seed. Right? People didn't think that we should have got in. So a lot of correlation. It goes back to that game. But I remember being in the locker room, seeing you being emotional. Jay Mill, everybody was emotional, bro. Like that was everybody knew like we should have won. Like people were going and doing their thing, like going to the league and stuff. And we had a really good team, like talented wise, bro. Like we should have won it all.
Yeah, it was a heartbreak. I was at that game, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I might have seen you, bro. I was
there, man. I was on the sidelines about the second half and had to tune in, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, bro.
What's crazy, bro? The first play of that game, I said, yeah, I know we finna win. Remember, Caleb caught a pick
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
did. Yeah, I did. I forgot about
Talking about
that.
some his foot was out of bounds.
Exactly.
Dang.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot about that. But dude, it's the same exact thing though. Just I remember sitting in that locker room though, and just feeling some type of way, and just knowing that hey, like when it's my turn, man, like I'm just gonna make sure that I do everything I can to help us win. And so that's all I can do really. In this game, right? I just got to do my job. That's what Saban preaches and what DeBoer preaches all the time. Just do your job, and if you do your job and let God deal with the rest.
So like you said, man, Ty, y'all had a loaded QB room. Obviously, Alabama had some QBs from years past. We talk about Jalen Hurts, Tua, Mac Jones, Bryce Young, and Jalen Milroe. You had the opportunity to play with Bryce and Jalen. What made you stay at Alabama, being that you could have easily transferred, knowing that the transfer portal is booming right now, NIL, all that? People just go for the bread. Like, do you have any advice for guys trying to decide if they should hit the portal since you stayed and gave yourself a chance to develop? And tell us, man, like, what was your decision to stay?
Yeah, for sure. First off, right, like coming in, when I was a high school guy, like I knew the room was going to be loaded. I knew Bryce was coming off a Heisman season. I knew they really really liked Jay Mill and his athletic ability and how he can flip the play or flip the game in one play. And me and Saban talked about that. But what really stood out was Pat, like your year, the 2020 year.
Yeah.
I think about Mac being there and then Bryce, and just guys who could have left, right, like Lander Dickerson, Dylan Moses, who could have went to the league, but you got guys who are on both sides of the ball who are first round draft picks. And then I get there, and Terrion's there on defense, Kool-Aid, Dallas, Will, and I'm going against guys like that every single day. And as a competitor, right, like that's all you can ask for, and even though like I'm not, playing, I'm treating it like a game and I'm going against, basically like an all pro NFL team. You know what I mean? Like I think Terrion, your sophomore year with BB, you, Kool-Aid, Dallas, Will, like there was probably
that's a squad, boy.
Dude, there was probably 15 NFL,
bro, it was
dudes on that defense.
Pat, look. Me, Will, Dallas, Kool-Aid, BB, Malachi, JB. It was still Byron Young. It was still at line. Who was that linebacker, man?
Henry
was that linebacker. I think C. Harris.
Christian. Yeah.
Bro, it just
there. Oh, and then I mentioned, bro, hey, we still had Eli Ricks who had came in. Long live
bro.
We still had Kyrie. Bro, like we was oh my God.
And then not only that, bro, but like on offense, right? We had Bryce, we had JC,
J-Mo.
J-Mo was there, Jameer, like dude, just all types of players who I could learn from and could compete with every day. And then my freshman year goes on, and me and Jay Mill are competing for the job. Jay Mill ends up winning it. We go to the Rose Bowl or whatever. And so a decision comes up about, whether to leave or not. I knew Jalen had a good year. He could have gone pro, but he decided to come back. And so I was sitting in Saban's office, and we were just talking. And he was like, what do you want out of your, career? What do you see yourself, being? And I said, I just want to be a first round draft pick, coach. Like you knew this coming in when I was a high school kid. Like I want to be the best I can be, and I want to get developed and make sure that I make the most out of my ability when I'm in the league. And once you think about and pray about all those things, man, like it was really a no-brainer, right? Like even though Jalen was coming back, I could still accomplish everything I wanted to accomplish, right? Like I could still win a national championship, win a Heisman, be a first-round draft pick, like all those things. It just wasn't in my timeline. Yeah. And I could learn after Jalen, and I learned after Bryce, right? Like those years aren't just wasted. I learned so much from those two, and then going against guys like Terrion and that defense every single day, it made me better, honestly. And I thank God every day that, I made that decision to stay, because I also, if I was on the other sideline and I saw my best friends who, I played with and went to war with on the other sideline, it just would kill me. And it wouldn't feel right wearing something else besides the script today.
Dang, bro. I ain't gonna lie, Ty. You done really came a long way, bro. I remember when you first, hey,
bro.
Pat, when he first got there, bro. Like I'm talking about a scout team. Ty was literally like he was treating it like a game. I'm like, fam,
Yeah.
stop holding the ball and throw the ball so I could practice catching picks.
I ain't gonna lie, Ty. I could tell like your intangibles, bro. Like your years ahead, bro, for sure.
But nah, look, you know, Ty, I really had a chance to see you grow from the beginning to what we're seeing now. And, you know, it didn't come overnight. And, you know, I'm really, really proud of you. And, you know, my next question is, what's something people say about you or about this team that you don't think is accurate? Like, you know, me and Pete started this podcast just as far as, like, it's a lot of things that we hear and a lot of things that are perceived or, like, misinterpreted. But, like, what is something that you've heard? I wouldn't say that gets under your skin or anything, but, like, just something that you've heard that is, like, it's not true at all.
Bro, honestly, like the thing that pisses us off the most as a team is one, when they come after Coach DeBoer, like that frustrates us to a certain extent of like, you know, what's, you know, why. And then two, when they talk about, you know, like Kalen DeBoer's team and the 2025 Alabama team, like isn't tough. Like, you know, that really gets under our skin because one, right, like playing the SEC is tough anyway. You know, and not only that, playing at Alabama is tough. So the stuff that we have to go through on a daily basis, and then, you know, not only that, but like, you know, fourth quarter, you know, in the summer workouts, right? Like running stadiums and stuff that, you know, people don't do, right? Like that really frustrates us. And then two, you know, the schedule that we go through, right? Like, you know, playing, you know, at Florida State, right? Like we know what we did there, but that was a hostile environment and we learned from that. But then going to Athens, playing, you know, a ranked Vanderbilt team, playing a ranked Missouri team at the time, Tennessee, right? Like going to South Carolina, playing Oklahoma twice in the SEC championship, like just, you know, just things that build up over time that most teams, you know, can't do in 2 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we're doing it in a season. So, you know, and the resiliency in those games from, you know, like last week being down 17-0, the South Carolina game, you know, coming back in the fourth quarter, the Missouri game, you know, coming down to the wire at that game. And just, you know, having the mental intensity to, you know, come out at each week and play against those ranked opponents. You know, you have to be some type of tough. And when people say that, you know, we're not tough in that aspect, that really pisses us off. And, you know, it's like bulletin board material for us, honestly.
Dang, you really are PR trained. I have to ask this too, you know, we kind of wrapping it up. Are you aware that the Alabama fan base, they have multiple names for you since no one knows your full name? Like, it's Tyrone, Taquavius, Tyler. Which one do you think you like the most?
I mean, you know me, like Tyrone, you know, that fits good. But, you know, they need to add Vanilla Vic in there. That's I'm going to trademark that, yeah.
You know, for the people that don't know, what's your real name?
So my real name's Tyler. So it would be Tyler Wilkerson Simpson.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought he was about to say Tyrone or some shit. I would have let this chill, boy. Right. Give us your real name, Tyrone Simpson.
Hey, you crazy.